Hey, Todd Burrier from toddburrier.com, and today we're going to talk about how to follow up effectively without pressure. I see in my teachings and in my 29 years now of being in the industry that follow up is one of those areas people fall down on. And I think in a lot of cases, there might be a little fear in the follow up because they might hear no here, right? Someone hasn't said no to them yet, and here's the area they might hear no. But I also feel like that a lot of people struggle because they feel like they're being pressuring when they follow up. And, so there's two major blocks in the process. One is people being afraid to make a contact, and the other is people being afraid to follow up or not doing it well. And I do a really deep training on this in my digital training, the Blueprint Process, which would help you immensely. And that is an incredible value. But I'm going to give you some nuggets today that will be useful for you right now. This is how I built my business. As a true introvert, right, making the initial contact was my biggest block, right? I worked through it, obviously. That's how I built multi-million-dollar organizations. But it was not easy. It was not easy, but I overcame it. But follow-up is where I shined. Because once I'm in the by nature for an introvert, once you're in the conversation, you're fine, and you can focus on the other person. And so I built my business through follow-up, right? My purpose in prospecting was to get them in my process, get them in the pipeline, get them seeing information, hear my story, and then follow-up is where I really cultivated the relationship and made it all happen. And so I'm an expert in this area, and I'm an expert in all aspects of the process, but this area, man, I can speak so deeply to. So important in your posture. This is part of how you make the pressure off. It's okay if they don't sign up. It's just okay. And they need to know that, right? They need to know. I've said it a zillion times in my career. Hey, man, if it's not for you, just tell me no. That's okay. I mean, I'm followed up because you're interested and you're not telling me no. So if it's not for you, it's fine. I got plenty of good people to talk to. People don't like that. They don't want you to take it back from them, right? So if you let them know it's okay if they don't say yes, they're more likely to. It's funny how it works that way, but it does. The other thing is if you have lots of activity. So my mentality in building the business is always this. I'm going to work at the beyond my ability to follow up efficiently. And now in today, I built a lot of my business before all this technology, and now I love using the tech. It's so easy to follow up now with Messenger and text and all the other ways that we can do it. But, if you're working with so many prospects, you don't have time to worry about what any single one ever says. You only really end up in deeper conversations with the people that want to be talking to you. And so it allows you to, it further augments that posture of, hey, if it's okay, if it's not for you, I've got 300 people that I'm working with right now. So if you say no, great, because then I don't have to track you. But then you also don't end up being constantly trying to reach back to somebody who's not responding, right? Because you don't have time to do that. You're too busy engaging the people that are responding, because when you work numbers, that's the way it's going to work. So that's just a little mentality, and will help you in the mindset piece. But let me make you understand a little bit, who you're being when you follow up. You're being a pro. That's what pros do. Pros follow up, right? In every field of endeavor, the pros follow up. As a matter of fact, think about anything. I don't care if you're putting a roof on your house or kitchen appliances or you're buying a car or you're doing anything. You feel more comfortable working with the person who's following up because they're showing you they're diligent. And you're like, okay, this is the person I'd want to work with than the person who, gives you a quote, you never hear from them. Like, okay, well, they don't really want my business. Do you understand what I mean? That's just a fact. So you're being a professional. You're growing your credibility. You're showing you really mean what you're doing, that you're sincere, that this is a serious thing for you, that you really believe the stuff that you said. All that stuff matters to your prospect, right? And again, you're just trying to be helpful in serving them. You're throwing a life preserver to this person that can make a huge difference in their life, and they're going to get you in the package, right? You are going to help them. You shouldn't beg somebody to let you help them, right? Seriously, right? You should be diligent, but you don't beg anybody to let you help them. It doesn't even make sense. So here's some things to consider. So this person has not taken a step, but they're in your process and they're not saying no. So why haven't they said yes? Well, have you asked? Did you ask them to say yes? Have you made it easy for them to say yes? Have you left it up to them? I see this all the time now, right? Where people will send them a link and just leave it up to them, right? Okay, so they're going to do it when they get around to it, if they remember to get around to it and stuff doesn't happen to them, right? So you got to understand that if they're not taking action, there's potentially multiple things going on. Maybe they are lacking in belief, right? They're missing a piece of information. There's a question that they haven't had answered yet. Maybe they're afraid. Maybe they're afraid because they haven't been reassured enough that it's safe to do. Maybe there's just something that they haven't shared with you yet, right? Maybe there's something deeper than the surface of what you got as to what their need or their desire was. Or maybe they're struggling with money, which, by the way, represents another opportunity for you, right? Because then you can have that conversation, which I have a video on YouTube about, struggling with money if someone wants to get started with that you can use to share, by the way. And then the other thing is they're not urgent, right? You're urgent, but they're not urgent because you're already doing it. But, think about someone who's got a problem, a challenge, right? Maybe they're trying to solve their money issue, or maybe you're working with health products and they're solving a health issue. They've had this issue for a long time. They really don't necessarily believe they're going to solve it, right? They might be encouraged and inspired by you and your information and your story, but they might not actually believe, it's going to happen very fast. So they're not so urgent. It's great when you find someone that is urgent, who's really ready to take action, and that happens through the numbers. But recognize in general, your urgency is not their urgency. Right? They might be very, very sincere and very, very interested and really want to get started, but they're not urgent about it. And so all kinds of other things can get in their way, right? So how do you behave? So first of all, be busy. Be busy. If you do what I said earlier, you will be busy, right? So when you reach out to somebody, just say, hey, sorry, I didn't get back to you right away. And when they don't respond, say, okay, that's cool. When should we catch? I got to go. Got to go. Only have a minute. Right? And so when someone's not responding over time, and I give you a whole recipe in the blueprint process for how frequently you should follow up, but that's how you need to handle it. And always remind them it's okay to say no. Always, anytime. And then be present, right? So in other words, you can say something to them, hey, I know that you have a sincere interest or we wouldn't even be in this conversation. Is it me? Is it me? Is there something that I haven't done or I haven't supplied for you or I haven't said? And they'll go, oh, no, it's not that. And the other thing is if let's say you're in your third or fourth or fifth follow-up call and you're starting to feel like, oh my gosh, they're going to feel like I'm pressuring them. I'm almost feeling like I'm pressuring them. Say it. Say, hey, Mary, I'm almost feeling like you're going to feel like I'm pressuring you, but I'm just following up because I know that you're interested. And so, I don't intend this to be pressure. And she'll be like, hey, don't worry about it. I get it. I'm sorry. I've been lackadaisical. They end up owning it. It's a great way to operate, right? It's just real. Everything I'm telling you is be real. You got to be real. You got to be real open, right? And then, you can always share new nuggets in the follow-up, but you got to ask. Each time you got to ask. So you ready to get started? It sounds like you're ready to get started. You got to ask. This is really easy to get started. You take the complexity out for them and tell them you're going to help them every step of the way. So there's quite a little bit or a lot of bit that I chucked at you right here. I hope that was helpful. I mentioned the blueprint process. If you have not gotten that digital training, it's tremendous content. It will help you so much in your work. Matter of fact, in many cases, people are like, I can't believe how simple this makes it for my work, because I cover a lot in that. If you also have not gotten my 27 scripts that work, they will really, I call them scripts, but they're really phrases. It will really help you in prospecting. If you need a little coaching, you need a little training, feel free to reach out to me through toddburrier.com, where you would go anyway to get the scripts and put your email in. And let me know, and we can have that conversation. All right, so hope today was helpful. Feel free to share this.